Mark Rogers TV on Super Bowl 49, Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots. Of course, here on Mark Rogers TV, we focus on college football, but I've been an NFL fan, borderline junkie at times in my life, and I got three requests to knock out a preview and prediction. So here we go. We have been picking NFL games every year since 1979. I'm old. 1979. I'm 25-10 in the Super Bowl. 25-10 against the spread. So let's give it a shot. We picked the Seahawks to win big last year. Let's see if we're fortunate enough to get this one right. I focused on each team and what I really like about that particular team, and here's what I've got. But first, a few things to chew on here. This is just the fifth Super Bowl out of 49. I'm driving to work the other day, and it strikes me that this is a rare matchup because you've got a Super Bowl winning coach and quarterback taking on a Super Bowl winning coach and quarterback. So I went through the memory banks, and this is what I came up with. 1976 and 79, Tom Landry and Roger Staubach, Dallas Cowboys against Terry Bradshaw and Chuck Noll, Pittsburgh Steelers. Then in 1984, you had Tom Flores and Jim Plunkett, who won the Super Bowl in 81, taking on Joe Theismann and Joe Gibbs, who won the Super Bowl for the Redskins the year before. Then you have to fast forward all the way to 3 years ago, 2012, Giants, Patriots, Coughlin and Manning against Belichick and Brady. So this is just the fifth time that Super Bowl winning coach and quarterback have taken on Super Bowl winning coach and quarterback. All right. The Super Bowl defending champion getting a second shot to go back-to-back is 8-3, 6-5 against the spread. Okay, let's now talk about the game, Pats and Seahawks. Tom Brady's the second best quarterback in the NFL, maybe the best postseason quarterback in the NFL right now, and one of the greatest in history. 33 touchdowns, 9 picks. He's played his rear end off in the playoffs, in particular that game that he had to pull off against the Ravens, trailing twice by 2 touchdowns. Tom Brady, again, I think Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the NFL. Tom Brady, a close second. He's going to make the right decisions as long as he's got a little bit of time to throw and just enough separation from wideouts. He's going to get the football to the right guys. All right, what I like about the Patriots as well is that Bill Belichick has structured an offense that doesn't rely on one guy. They have so many weapons, and they can distribute the football as needed. So they play matchup football in space, and they also can play whatever style they need against that opponent. We've seen it in playing a power running style like they did last week against the Indianapolis Colts. LeGarrette Blount running for 149 yards. And we also have seen it in the vertical passing game, and then also seen the West Coast offense style in throwing a lot of bubble screens, a lot of slot stuff inside the hash marks. So they can play a number of offensive styles of football and be proficient. I love the matchup of Gronkowski. Gronk is impossible to handle for any particular defender. Cam Chancellor is one of the best in the business, but to see him most likely getting that matchup most of the time against Gronk is going to be extremely difficult for him to match up. I don't know that anybody in the safety or linebacking category can match up with Gronk play after play after play. They're going to get Gronkowski the football in critical situations. Also, Cam Chancellor held out of practice a couple days this week. He is probable with a knee issue. He will play in the game. Okay, also the Patriots, a much better defensive unit than what we saw in the last 2 Super Bowls against the Giants. This is the defense that harkens back to the Teddy Bruschi days and Richard Seymour of the first 2 Super Bowl championships go to the Eagles game as well. So those first 3 championships for the Patriots, and they have played very well against mobile quarterbacks. So that's what I like about the Patriots. Brady, Gronk, matchup style offense, and the defense is better than it's been in a long time, and again, has not been rattled by mobile quarterbacks. All right, on to Seattle. This is what I like about the Seahawks. Russell Wilson's mobility, his improvisational skills when the play breaks down, is unmatched right now in the NFL. So I like Russell Wilson. I like his ability to throw it when he needs to from the pocket, but also his ability to move the chains and get the third down yardage with his feet. Marshawn Lynch. Beast mode. This guy's the toughest runner in the NFL. He is the most fun for me to watch because he just refuses to go down. And if he's going to go down, he is going to punish guys. So I know it's the Super Bowl, and guys are going to be courageous, and they're going to bring their A game. If this is Week 13, maybe there's a few cowards out there who are going to make some business decisions. I would hope in the Super Bowl that's not going to be the case. Still, Marshawn Lynch battering a defense time and time again. Pete Carroll wants to get him the ball 25 times in the ground game. The defense everywhere for Seattle. There are no weaknesses. There are certain strengths that determine other strengths on the Seattle defense, but they really have no defensive liabilities or weaknesses. They are solid top to bottom, one of the better defenses we've seen in the last 20 years in the NFL. They're smart, they're tenacious, they play extremely hard, they run fast to the football, and they tackle in space. Great tacklers on this defense. That's what I love about Seattle. Few issues with the Seahawks, though. First of all, Doug Baldwin and Jermaine Kearse aren't going to scare anyone. Kearse made the game-winning touchdown against Green Bay, but before that, you had drops, you had lack of separation. And Darrelle Revis is possibly the best cover corner in the NFL. So I don't expect Russell Wilson to have wide-open guys running around in the secondary, loose. The lack of separation against Green Bay was disheartening for Seattle fans. Also, Russell Wilson, a little careless with the football. He chucked it around. 4 interceptions against the Packers. 3 were his fault. He cannot do that on Super Sunday. Also, of course, the injuries to Earl Thomas and Richard Sherman. They are, pardon the term, allow it in a football context, warriors. Thomas and Sherman will show up, they will play, they'll play hard, they'll put their bodies on the line, but still, they're like 75 or 80%. That's got to hurt the Seattle defense in run support and in pass defense. Also, this Seattle team, credit them immensely for pulling out one of the great finishes in the history of postseason NFL football. But they were completely outplayed in that game against Green Bay. The Packers were the better team. Seattle made the plays, credit them. But the Packers had about 5 to 6 chances to shut that thing down and close it out, and they failed to do it. Sometimes it's because Seattle took it away from them, but other times, i.e., the onside kick, i.e., the interception that wasn't returned, the Packers could have closed out that game. Also, Seattle doesn't get consistent quarterback pressure. Defensively, again, solid if not spectacular in most areas across the board. But they don't get consistent quarterback pressure. They don't have a dynamic pass edge, pass rusher to get to Tom Brady. And Brady's protection has been exceptional this year. Also, Seattle's missed 6 field goals. They've all been plus 40-yarders, but still, in today's NFL, when the kickers hit 85%, the Seahawks, again, most likely won't be a factor. Most likely they'll hit their field goals. But if anybody's going to miss field goals, it's going to be the Seahawks. 6 misses this year out of Stephen Hauschka. All right. This one was difficult for me to call. Very, very difficult because I like the mobility of Wilson. I think they're a team that wins with defense. I usually side with defense. But if I add everything up, including the lack of separation out of the wide receivers, the Sherman and Thomas injuries, the Chancellor injury, the Seahawks having issues coming back. If they get down by 10 or 14 points, it might be a little bit difficult, although they did it, of course, at home in the NFC Championship game. These are two teams that have struggled on the road at times. Look at the runs in the second half that they've made to get to this Super Bowl, and they've done it mostly by winning the home games, and they've both struggled on the road. So that's probably a washout there. New England 27, Seattle 24. That's a tough one for me to call, but we'll go with the Pats +3 in this one in the Super Bowl. We'd love to hear what you have to say. That's our pick here on Mark Rogers TV.